The pilot was already gone by the time the sun rose. He's not dead. Worse, captured somewhere beyond the ridgeline, where radios went silent and hope thinned with every mile. The last transmission crackled through command like a dying heartbeat, panic restrained by discipline, fear wrapped in protocol, then nothing. They marked him missing by dawn. By noon, they assumed he wouldn't come home. She heard the news standing alone on a wind-scoured ridge, her rifle resting against her shoulder, the metal cold even through her gloves. She didn't speak. She didn't react. But something inside her tightened, an old familiar pain. The kind that came when the mission collided with the personal. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Her name was Captain Mara Vance, a sniper by designation, a ghost by reputation. She had learned long ago how to disappear into terrain, into silence, into the narrow space between breath and trigger. But the man who'd been captured wasn't just another pilot. It was Eli Vance, her younger brother. The downed aircraft lay in pieces across the valley floor, smoke still rising in lazy spirals. Enemy patrols moved like ants below, methodical and patient. They knew what they had. A live pilot was worth more than any wreckage. They would move him at dusk. Mara lay prone, dust clinging to her cheek, her heartbeat steady despite the storm behind her ribs. Through her scope, the world narrowed to clarity angles. Distance, wind drift. She saw the captors bind Eli's hands, saw the way he stumbled but didn't fall. He was alive, bruised, afraid, still alive. Command's voice came through her earpiece, calm and distant. Extraction teams were hours away. Too far, too late. The order was clear. Observe only, do not engage. The risk was unacceptable. She closed her eyes for a moment. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. Mara had trained her entire career to follow orders, to trust the machine larger than herself. But lying there, with the valley breathing beneath her and her brother's life ticking away, the rules felt thin, fragile, like glass under pressure. The wind shifted. A patrol moved closer to Eli, one soldier raising a rifle, impatient. Mara's finger tightened, then loosened. If she fired, the valley would explode. She didn't, Eli would disappear into places no rescue team ever reached in time. Her mind raced through consequences like a prayer she already knew the ending to. She exhaled. The first shot cracked the air, not loud, not dramatic, just precise. A sentry dropped without sound. Confusion rippled through the group below, voices rising, weapons lifting in the wrong directions. Mara moved like water. One breath, one shot, another, each round placed with devastating intention. The valley erupted into chaos, but she stayed calm, tracking movement, correcting for wind, never rushing. Soldiers fell. Others scattered. Smoke bloomed. Orders were shouted, contradicted, lost. Eli dropped to his knees, hands still bound, eyes wide as the world around him fractured. Command was yelling now, orders overlapping. Abort. Stand down, you're compromised. Mara didn't answer. Her hands trembled not from fear, but from the weight of choice. Every shot bought seconds. Seconds for confusion, seconds for escape, seconds for a miracle. Then she saw at the moment that broke her rhythm. A soldier moved behind Eli, weapon raised, using him as cover. The scope trembled. Sweat blurred her vision. One wrong movement, and she would lose them both. This was the shot they trained you never to take. She slowed her breathing until the world shrank to a single line of sight. The air felt thick, heavy, waiting. She squeezed. The bullet flew true. The soldier dropped. Eli fell forward, free. Silence followed, not peaceful, but stunned. The valley seemed to hold its breath. From the ridge, Mara watched her brother run, stagger, fall, rise again. He vanished into cover just as extraction helicopters thundered into the sky, summoned by chaos and courage and one impossible decision. Hours later, the base was quiet in the way only aftermath can be. Medics moved softly. Radios murmured. No one spoke above a whisper. Mara sat alone, rifle disassembled beside her, hands finally shaking now that it was over. She didn't know what punishment would come. Court-martial. Discharge. Prison. She had accepted all of it the moment she pulled the trigger. Footsteps approached. Eli stood in the doorway, wrapped in a blanket, bruised but breathing, alive. They didn't speak at first. There were no words that fit the space between them. He crossed the room slowly, then hugged her, careful, like she might break. "I knew it was you," he whispered. "I heard the shots. And I knew." Mara closed her eyes. Later, Command reviewed the footage, the angles, the impossibility of the shots. The lives saved not just of one pilot, but of the rescue team that would have walked into an ambush. The report was rewritten, the consequences softened. Some rules, they decided, had bent for a reason. That night, Mara stood alone outside, stars burning overhead, rifle case at her feet. She thought about the ridge, the wind, the moment everything could have gone wrong. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And sometimes, it arrives at the speed of a single, impossible shot. If this story moved you, share it with someone who believes courage is quiet. Leave a comment. Subscribe to Whispered Words. And stay with us for more stories where humanity survives even the harshest missions.